Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at Casetify. You know, the brand that somehow made phone cases.
Yeah.
Well, actually fashionable, even high-tech.
Right. It's quite a story.
Yeah, so we've synthesized the source material to sort of figure out the key strategies behind their really rapid global growth.
Yeah.
They're based in Hong Kong and LA, right? Dual headquarters.
That's right.
What I found really fascinating about their start back in 2011 with Wesley Yang and Ronald Young is that they didn't really kick off focusing on like military-grade toughness or anything.
No, not at all.
It seems like they went for creativity first over the hardware itself.
And that, I think, was the strategic genius there. They didn't jump into the tech accessory market trying to beat everyone on shock absorption from day one.
Mm-hmm.
They came in as a platform for, self-expression. Their first big thing was letting users customize cases with their own photos from Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
So they basically made the customer the designer right out of the gate.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But hang on, lots of brands do pop culture stuff or offer customization. What was it about Casetify's way of doing it that made them trendsetters, like almost immediately? Especially with millennials and Gen Z, was it just new?
Well, I think it was nailing that combination of three things that usually live separately. You had high personalization, you had actual functional protection, and then like real pop culture relevance.
Okay.
They basically created this space where you didn't have to pick between a tough kind of ugly case and a cool looking one that wouldn't survive a drop. They managed to make protective gear.
Right. Okay, let's dig into that product foundation then.
Yeah.
Because the phone case is still central for Apple, Samsung, all the big ones, but they've branched out quite a bit.
Oh yeah, aggressively.
We're talking AirPods cases, MacBook sleeves, watch bands. I even saw steel water bottles in the mix.
Covering the ecosystem.
But the key thing, as the sources really emphasize, is how they get that sleek, fashionable look while still being serious about protecting the device.
Yeah.
They mentioned proprietary shockproof tech, antimicrobial coatings.
Yeah, and they're slim, drop-proof, but still compatible with wireless charging. All that stuff matters.
Exactly.
And this is where you kind of move from just marketing talk into actual material R&D. I mean, it's a huge engineering challenge to get proper 360-degree protection, but keep the case slim,
Exactly.
right? Pocketable.
Sure.
If you actually look at their specs, they're not just saying drop-proof. They often have designs that, absorb and dissipate the impact energy. That takes serious testing, real material science innovation to balance the toughness with aesthetics.
Okay.
They basically had to convince people that top-level device safety doesn't have to look like a brick.
Ha, Ralph.
And by nailing that technical part and the style, they turned the phone case from just a shield into like a statement piece.
So once they had that function and fashion foundation solid, they needed visibility, right? Something beyond just standard ads. Which brings us to that second big pillar, the collaboration engine.
Yes.
The collabs seems like a multi-layered approach. They start with supporting the artist community directly.
Yeah, that's a key part.
Casetify shares profits with this big network of independent designers. And that's what fuels like tens of thousands of unique designs outside of the big headline collaborations. They're fostering creativity on a huge scale.
That grassroots support is definitely important, but yeah, the high-profile partnerships, those are the strategic rocket fuel. These are really calculated moves to drive super fast revenue growth and just stay constantly visible, tapping into massive global fan bases instantly.
Okay.
The sheer speed and just the range of these collabs, that seems to be the core competitive edge.
The list we looked at is, well, it's kind of wild in its scope. You've got partnerships with really highbrow places like the Louvre, the Met. That signals prestige, right?
Definitely. And then they can just pivot completely to like K-pop royalty, huge global appeal with groups like BTS, Blackpink, that covers the celebrity angle, the youth trends.
And then bam, hitting the big media and nostalgia buttons, Pixar, Pokemon, Disney collaborations.
Exactly. And then they throw in completely unexpected brand tie-ins, working with DHL, Coca-Cola, even Saint Laurent.
Yeah, DHL was surprising.
Think about that spread for a moment. The genius isn't just who they partner with, it's the strategy of doing it so rapidly, cycling through them.
Oh, okay.
By constantly dropping these limited run collections across basically every cultural niche, they create scarcity, that FOMO fear of missing out, and appeal to this really broad base that wants to be on trend. It keeps the brand fresh, always top of mind, an endless cycle, really.
That constant churn definitely drives sales. But, commercial success alone doesn't guarantee loyalty, especially with Gen Z. Which leads us to their third big strategic driver, sustainability, building that conscious consumerism angle.
Right, which is becoming increasingly important.
And the main thing here seems to be the Casetify program. That's their big initiative, encouraging people to join the circular economy. They don't just say recycle, they incentivize it. You send in old phone cases, apparently from any brand, and you get store credit back.
And that's clever because it turns the consumer from just a buyer into an active participant. It shifts the mindset a bit from just tossing it to contributing.
Yeah.
And what's really key here, according to the sources, is that it's a genuinely integrated, closed-loop process. The materials they collect through Casetify get broken down and actually used in making new products. So they're really closing that loop.
That sounds complex to manage.
Oh, incredibly complex. Running that aggressive collab schedule and managing a sophisticated closed-loop recycling program, that adds huge operational complexity and cost to their supply chain.
Sure.
But they back it up with actual numbers, which you have to do to be credible. The scale is what jumps out. They've apparently recycled over 2.1 million cases already. And, maybe more importantly, diverted over 105,000 kilograms of waste from landfills so far.
That is a powerful statement. It definitely goes beyond just superficial greenwashing. It positions them as a leader in actually rethinking waste in the tech accessory world, which generates a lot of waste.
Exactly.
So, okay, if we combine the customization, that powerful collaboration engine, and this conscious tech angle, what does all this mean for where they stand now and where they're headed?
Well, the sources definitely paint them as one of the fastest growing global tech accessory brands, known everywhere for setting mobile lifestyle trends.
We should probably note, though, the sources mentioned they faced some legal heat over design similarities with competitors. That's always a risk in this space, I guess.
Yeah, that's a constant challenge in the fast fashion, fast accessory world. But it seems they're pushing ahead with innovation and expansion regardless.
So what's the forward strategy look like?
It looks aggressive.
Yeah.
Two main things seem to stand out. First, major investment in global expansion, particularly trying to build a bigger physical retail footprint in the U.S.
Actual stores.
Yeah, flagship stores in key cities globally.
Yeah.
Osaka in Japan was mentioned specifically. They want to be a physical destination, not just an online shop.
Okay.
And the second thing, product diversification. They're planning to move beyond just phone cases and even the current range of accessories. They're seriously looking at general lifestyle products.
Interesting.
It's about finding new revenue streams, obviously, but also cementing the brand as more of a general lifestyle authority, not just about protecting your phone.
But that tech accessory market is brutal,
Yeah.
right? Super competitive. If they're moving this fast, what are the big risks or headwinds they need to watch out for?
Well, the main threats are pretty much the flip side of what got them here. Competition and fickle consumers.
Right.
They face huge pressure from established players, plus nimble startups always popping up, and they absolutely have to stay agile with consumer preferences, especially Gen Z. They dictate trends and switch brands so quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Their whole model, the collabs, the materials, the sustainability push it all, requires constant, expensive market research and rapid product development just to stay relevant. It's a really demanding way to operate.
It really sounds like their future hinges on keeping that pipeline of fresh, cool collaborations flowing while also delivering consistently on quality, protection, and that eco-conscious message globally.
That sums it up pretty well.
So just to quickly recap the Casetify playbook we've unpacked. First, it's that personalized creativity, letting the customer be the designer. Second, the supercharged engine of brand collaborations for constant visibility and sales. And third, that deep commitment to sustainability via the Casetify closed loop system.
Yeah, that's the complex balancing act they're pulling off. They're pushing for massive global growth, but at the same time trying to deepen their environmental impact work, which costs money and effort. They're really trying to link commerce and conscience on a big stage. Now, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. The sources hint at this long-term plan to diversify beyond tech accessories, maybe into lifestyle goods pretty far removed from phones. So given that their identity right now is so tightly linked to mobile tech, personalization, those collabs, what do you think are the biggest risks and maybe the biggest opportunities for Casetify as they potentially move further away from the phone case that started it all? Something to chew on.